Hello beautiful people and welcome back to my channel. My name is Amity Gilmour and this is my life. If you're new here, hello, welcome. Be sure to click that subscribe button and don't forget to ring the notification bell in order to stay updated from new videos coming from me twice a week. I just thought I would bring Benji to say hi for the first part of the video. He doesn't really like the camera, doesn't really like being on my lap on this chair, so he's just here to say hi and bye. Wait, I need water because my mouth is literally so dry at the moment. Probably dehydrated, but what can you do? Okay, so I was in Sydney for 3 weeks trying to explore what was going on with my body other than the gastroparesis to find out what is causing this gastroparesis, and I did do a ton of videos while I was in Sydney. One that explained basically what we found, which is that I have hypermobile type EDS, which if you want to see that video I'll link it up there. But basically we found out a whole bunch of stuff on the side of gastroparesis, and then the last week was just, it was a really rough week. I'm still emotionally processing everything. Without further ado, let's just jump into this video.
Make things right. I hold you and wipe your tears.
This video starts after I had finished with the cardiologist. I found out through the cardiologist that my test did show like the Holter monitor and stuff. By the way, if you want to see that video where I had a Holter monitor on for 24 hours, I'll link it up here. Basically, the test showed that I was a little bit, as he said, potsy, but it wasn't like, it was too abnormal to be called normal, but not too abnormal to be called POTS. He also established that the heart looks mechanically fine and that most of the kind of heart issues and palpitations he thinks comes from not being able to eat enough food due to the gastroparesis and not being able to exercise enough due to the gastroparesis. Basically, because of all the symptoms that problem A causes, gastroparesis, it is going into problem B, which problem B isn't enough of a problem to be called like POTS or anything, but it is a problem. We came out of that appointment thinking, okay, well, we'll see the gastro in 2 days time and we'll come up with a plan to get on track, get my life together. Before I go into the whole gastro side of things and basically what happened, I just want to first say the doctors that are working on my case are really good doctors, and the outcome of basically the appointment is no fault of their own. It is got nothing to do with them, it's just got to do with the condition and how sucky this condition is. Come Tuesday, it is the day before we see the gastro, and let's just say I'm not feeling good. I'm feeling extremely sick. I'm feeling extremely just nauseous and vague and fatigued and just dizzy. Like every time I get up, I'm just shaky. So I thought, well, what should I do? And in these cases, I always wonder what I should be doing because everybody tells me I should go to the hospital, but then I go to the hospital and they're like, oh, there's not much we can do. But keep coming when you have these things. And it's like, keep coming just to be told that you don't know what, okay, whatever. But I decided to do the right thing and go to the hospital because that's what I'm told to do by literally everyone when I have problems like I did that day. I ended up going to the hospital and I was so uncomfortable and I was just so sick and ill and I just wanted to vomit, but I couldn't, and I just felt awful. But I had been vomiting all that day and the night before, and I felt like there was more to get out, but I just couldn't get it out, and I just felt awful, like absolutely awful. I'm sitting in this waiting room and it is packed, like packed to the max. There are so many different people in the emergency waiting room and I'm waiting and waiting, and I got into triage pretty quickly, and then after that waited a little bit but not too long, and then got in to get a cannula in with the nurse, and then after that was just waiting and waiting to see a doctor. And it got to a point where I was just too uncomfortable to wait in the waiting room. I felt so sick that I literally just thought, well, I'm going to see gastro tomorrow, so I'm coming back to the hospital tomorrow to see gastro, so I might as well just go home and sleep in my own bed, because I think that's probably the best thing for me right now. So I went up to the desk and I said, hey, can I get my cannula out? And they're like, yeah, sure. I basically said, hey, can I go home? And they're like, have you seen the doctor? I said, no, it's alright if I go home. I said, well, we can't really say, you know, it's your decision to make. And I was like, I want to go home. Can I get this cannula out? She's like, okay, I'll let the team know. And so I waited and waited, and no one was coming to get my cannula out. And I was on the phone with my mom, and I'm just upset and I'm annoyed, and I'm just like, I don't know what to do. I feel really uncomfortable. And so I went up to, my mom told me to go back up to triage and say, hey, can I get the cannula out? So I went back up there, and finally they came and took the cannula out. And I left the emergency room in tears. I called the person who I was staying with to come pick me up, and while I was waiting for her to come pick me up, I was on the phone with my mom, absolutely in tears. I had just broken down because I'd gotten to my breaking point. I felt like this is it, like I've had enough. I don't want to be sick anymore. I just want to pretend I'm not sick and just like live a normal life, and just, which obviously is impossible, but that is how I felt. I just really wanted to like leave everything behind, leave all of the sickness, all of the pain, and I just felt awful. And I was just emotional, and it was just like, you know, also, mind you, was week 3 of going in and out of doctor's appointments and being told all this different information that I'm trying to process, and also just going like across the city trying to find things, like while there's a pandemic going on and while cases start to rise, only a little bit at that point, and it was just so much going on. I was just emotionally drained, emotionally and mentally and physically, and all that sort of draining. It was not good. I remember my friend came to pick me up, so I basically got off the phone to mom, and I tried to act cool, and then I just cried. I cried in the car. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't go to another doctor's appointment anymore. Like, I just can't do this. This is too much. And my friend prayed for me, which was good. And the next day I was like, you know, I was thinking, well, the next day after the gastro, we're gonna get a plan. Like, that was the thing I was telling myself, like, it's okay, I'm gonna see the gastro, and we're gonna fix things, we're gonna get it sorted. The next day, was in bed all day, and then by the time it was time to go to see the gastro, which was the afternoon, I got dressed, I went to the gastro. I kind of think the problem was I went in there thinking that I was gonna get some sort of magic pill or magic solution, like a magic fix everything answer, and something that was actually gonna get me back to living, and that's just really unrealistic. I mean, I know that now, but I don't think I knew it at the time. Like, maybe I did know it like mentally, but like subconsciously that is what I went in expecting a one fix. And I went in and I saw the gastro that works with the head gastro, and I talked to him and I said, look, I'm really struggling, you know, last time I saw you guys I was actually feeling kind of okay, like I wasn't feeling as bad as I had been, and I'm just not feeling good. And my mum was on the phone in the appointment too, because she didn't come down to Sydney with me, but for all my appointments I basically asked the doctor, hey, is it alright if I have my mum on like speakerphone for the appointment? We talked to the gastro and they said, look, it's a hard one, it's a tricky one. We said, look, is there some way you can like get me back to normal life? And they said, look, unfortunately there's no cure. And look, I know that, like I've been told that, but like some people go into remission, and from what he's telling us, it's like he doubts and he thinks there's little chance of me going to remission, and that is hard. Like, I really wanted to go in and find a solution where we could say, hey, we'll fix this, we'll do this, and you'll be back to good as normal. And that was hard to not get that. So the gastro has got me on some new medication, and it's erythromycin, which is an antibiotic that I am supposed to be taking now 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. I'm only on like I think the 3rd day of taking it, so I can't really see a difference at the moment. You know, we'll see. I actually feel pretty bad, and I got back from Sydney and I noticed I had like black all under my eyes. It looked like it hadn't been punched in the face. It was just from just being so exhausted. I'm hoping this medication helps. My gastro had made it clear that he didn't really have much faith in these medications I was taking, or faith isn't the right word. He doubted that they would help, but he wanted to try them anyway. He said that if they do help, they're probably gonna stop working after a while, which I was like, okay. So if that stops working, then there's another medication I can try, and he's a bit iffy about that medication because it has been known to make side effects similar to another medication I took, which I had all the side effects of that medication, and it was just really not fun. I ended up in hospital with my heart just not doing the best for me. My heart was literally just like stopping and starting and stopping and starting. It was not fun at all. They were gonna start me on that medication I was on before, and I told them no, and they're like, okay, understandable, that makes sense, like we're not gonna put you on that. So they're a bit iffy about the other one they can possibly give me because it has similar side effects, but we're trying this one. This one doesn't work. I don't know, I think they said we might try the other one, and then if that one doesn't work, then we'll start looking into a tube or something else that might be a little bit more intense. I don't know. They want to hold off on a tube for now because they said basically once there's a tube there, that's that. So they want to hold off on that for now, which is good because I do not feel comfortable with the idea of a tube. I'm just being honest, that's just how I feel. We're probably going to have to go and get that done at some point, unless, you know, a miracle happens, which, you know, does happen. I believe miracles do happen, but at the same time I believe that God has a will, and I may not understand that will, and I may not understand, you know, why God would, you know, have a will that doesn't include me getting healed. If that is his will, I don't know, and I don't understand why that would be, but there's always a reason. I just have to trust and believe that whatever his will is for the best, whether that be to heal me or to not heal me. So I do believe in miracles. I just also believe that God has a will, and sometimes people don't get healed, and that's heartbreaking. It really is, but there's always a reason. Anyway, I feel like I've babbled on enough this video, so I'm going to leave this here, and thank you guys for watching. Love you all, and thank you so much for coming on this journey with me, and yeah, love you guys. Bye.
Make things right. I hold you and wipe your tears.